Hello there, DT Bergen. I'm back. I'm feeling a little bit better. Now you are in my hotel room. I am in Trondheim at the moment, and I wanted to follow up Module 2 with a couple of tools that we did not get a chance to share. And I'd also like to just reinforce several of the messages that we had for you during our second module. So please apologize the really bad technical setup. As you can see, a prototype, right? What's important is the particular message that I have for you guys with regards to this point of view that is right behind me. It's a point of view I actually used during Module 2. I'll remind you of it and read it through. Stressed mother of 3, rushing through the airport, only to wait hours at the gate, needs to entertain her playful children because annoying little brats only irritate already frustrated fellow passengers. Right. The reason why I'm bringing this point of view up again is because it helps me discuss something that we call how might we questions, right? And essentially what how might we questions do is that they help break down a big, complex point of view to sort of more independent, manageable chunks, so that from that how might we, you can move on to ideation sessions that are much more productive and effective. I'll give you an example of what we can actually do with this point of view up here, right? So if we wanted to identify how might we's that apply well to this case, we would ask ourselves, okay, how can we break this point of view up, right? So stressed mother of 3 rushing through the airport only to wait hours at the gate needs to entertain her playful children because annoying little brats only irritate already frustrated fellow passengers. So we could say, okay, so to engage this point of view with a good ideation session, how about we say, how might we, for example, bring in the fellow passengers into a particular fun, playful activity so that the kids can be both entertained and the passengers can feel somehow involved, right? So we would frame that as, how might we bring in fellow passengers, right? And now that you have that particular how might we, your ideation process will probably be a little bit more punchy, faster, and more productive, hopefully, right? You can come up with tons of different how might we's that stem from your point of view. So another how might we for this particular point of view could be, how might we use the airport environment in certain ways to be able to keep our children entertained, right? And so another how might we could be, how might we use airport environment creatively, right? How about we come up with a third how might we? How might we create a particular game that revolves around catching a flight or going through customs or going through security so that kids can feel somehow engaged in a playful process as opposed to an annoying, monotonous, stressful one, right? And so how might we create a game for our children, right? So as you can see, how might we essentially just break your point of view down a little bit so that your ideation sessions can be a little bit more manageable, right? So if I can actually draw something, and I'm gonna take my camera here and bring it closer and then focus in on the drawing. Essentially what a how might we does is you have your point of view here. Where are we? Here we are. You have your point of view here, right? And then what a how might we does is it helps to essentially explore particular areas, right? This is your how might we one, right? And then you can say maybe let's explore this particular area, right? And this turns into your how might we two, right? And then the POV can also open up towards a different area, and this becomes your how might we three, etc. Right? And so how might we's are generally good to get your ideation sessions going. Because sometimes if you just focus on your point of view and you try to ideate immediately on that point of view, it could get a little tricky. Points of views can get a little bit complex, and it will sort of potentially get your team stuck, right? And so how might we help you to get immediately unstuck? The second tool that I'd like to share with you guys is a very simple tool. Some of your coaches mentioned that I should discuss it, and it's basically called empathy mapping, right? Empathy maps are very easy to do. Let me erase this very quickly, if I can actually erase it. So the second tool that I wanted to mention that a lot of your coaches actually said that they had found it very helpful last year, and I didn't have a chance to discuss it, is very basic. It's called an empathy map, right? And it's basically taking the user of your point of view, right? The individual that's central to your point of view, and basically asking yourselves as a team, what is this person thinking, seeing, feeling, hearing, right? And all you do, and I can share this with you guys on our website, I'll give you a link to a lot of different examples of good empathy maps, is basically to visualize this individual so you can draw a very quick face of this person, and then open up different areas, for example, seeing. So you open up from the eyes out, these two lines, and within those lines, you could create an ideation session together with your teammates as to what is she actually seeing, right? So let's say that you are, for example, designing a better hotel room, right? And so what is the hotel guest seeing, right? So she's seeing other guests, right? She's seeing tourists, she's seeing the workers, she's seeing the breakfast being laid out in the morning, she's seeing coffee being handed out, she's seeing angry customers potentially. And so the idea is to encapsulate, right, the experience of your particular user on a visualization board, right? Important to figure out, or important to focus on empathy maps is emotions, right? Many times it's easier for us to identify kind of like the very objective things, like the seeing or touching or even hearing, but the emotions, what is the person feeling? That's a critical part of empathy maps. And so again, I'll just share this with you guys on the website. Very simple to do. Sometimes actually quite impactful and helpful to sort of get a very big picture of what your user is actually experiencing in a particular situation. Okay. Finally, I want to reiterate something that Martin mentioned last time we met up, which is basically to prototype as quickly as possible and go out there, right? And interact with as many people as possible. This is where the learning process really accelerates, right? The first month and a half, we spent a lot of time simply engaging people in very ambiguous circumstances without anything physical in our hands. Now it's your chance to actually go out, continue to empathize, but it's much more tangible empathy, right? You're going to be essentially innovating into the world, and the world is going to be giving you back information, right? And so use this time as effectively and efficiently as possible, because your goal for Module 3 is to present your prototypes and all the lessons that have come along with them. So Module 3 is Demo Day. As you can see in our schedule, it is literally our Demo Day. We're going to take it as a very official event where each of the teams are going to present. I'll give you much more details about time and place and all the juicy stuff, but essentially what you need to start doing now is to think about, okay, how can we go through the entire process of design thinking as impactfully as possible so that the next time we meet, you'll have a prototype or potentially multiple prototypes that have taught you a lot, and you can tell us a story around that process. Okay, as always, please don't hesitate to reach out. I have actually heard from a couple of you. Thank you for contacting me. I'd love to hear more from the others. All right, good luck. Vi ses. Lycka till. Ha det bra.